All right. YouTube is live. Sorry, I just gotta figure out how to start recording on Zoom. Hmm. Oh my gosh. Well, I have no clue how to do it on Zoom. I'm gonna end that. Okay, so sorry about that, YouTube. All right, now what is the conversation today? The conversation today is on imagination. Okay, I wanted to finish up this last few pages because they get really good, and we're going to dive into some things that most people won't dive into. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so yesterday we talked about two types of imagination. We got the synthetic imagination and the creative imagination. Okay, and he says that both the synthetic and creative faculties of imagination become more alert with use, just as any muscle or organ of the body develops through use, right? Makes sense. You work out your imagination just like you can work out your arms or your legs. He says that desire is only a thought, an impulse. It is nebulous and ephemeral. It is abstract and of no value until it has been transformed into its physical counterpart. Okay, so think about this, right? What you want may seem real in your mind, but right now it really is it I like how uses the words nebulous and ephemeral because I never read those words before, but what you want is intangible. It's not actually a real thing, right? It's not important to anyone else besides you, but let's make it a real physical thing. Like what you want, let's make it happen. He says while the synthetic imagination is the one which will be used most frequently in the process of transforming the impulse of desire into money, you must keep in mind the fact that you may face circumstances and situations which demand use of the creative imagination as well. Your imaginative faculty may have become weak through inaction. It can be revived and made alert through use. This faculty does not die, though it may become quiescent through use. So wherever you are, starting right now, right? For younger people, it's actually pretty easier to really work your imagination because if you think about it, right, it's not yet been quite so much programmed out of us, right? They used to tell me that I was wild for daydreaming so much in school, right? The teachers are like, what are you doing? Like, why do you think this is like a game? They would put you in this mental box of your way of thinking, right? Because my teachers, they, were great people, but truthfully, they just didn't think. Um, okay. Anyways, center your attention for the time being on the development of the synthetic imagination, because this is the faculty which you will use more often in the process of converting desire into money. Let me take a pause right there. All right. So he's saying focus more so on the synthetic imagination, right? What does the synthetic consist of? Your past experiences, observations from others. What did he say? He says through this faculty one may arrange old concepts, ideas, or plans into new combinations. So what we're doing is we're taking what we already know and we're rearranging it so that it works in our favor. Okay, so he's saying again that we're going to be focusing on this. Now, he says transformation of the intangible impulse of desire into the tangible reality of money calls for the use of a plan or plans. These plans must be formed with the aid of the imagination and mainly with the synthetic faculty. All right, let's go back. Hold up one sec. Okay, so we're using our imagination, right? It's the workshop. It's basically where we are creating our plan to get rich, right? Because if you don't got definite sound plans backed by persistent, continuous action, right? According to this book, we're not going to get rich. Okay, so this chapter we're going to focus mainly on building out plans and how to use our imagination for that. Now, when forming plans, what does it mean? We're going to arrange old concepts, ideas, or plans into new combinations. This faculty, so I'm talking about the synthetic imagination. I went back a page. He says this faculty creates nothing, it merely works with the materials of experience, education, and observation with which it is fed. So it creates nothing. He says, read the entire book through, then come back to this chapter and begin at once to put your imagination to work on the building of a plan or plans for the transformation of your desire into money. Detailed instructions for the building of plans have been given in almost every chapter. So when I read that last night, I was getting ready for this live, and I was like, what do you mean detailed instructions of building of plants have been given in every chapter? Is there actually legit instructions in each chapter of this book for how to build plants? And I went back to it, right? I knew there is instructions in desire. In faith, I didn't realize there was instructions. I found out last night there actually is clear instructions on how to develop faith. Autosuggestion is pretty evident that there is most definitely instructions. That whole chapter pretty much is instructions. So he says, read the entire book through and come back to this chapter and begin at once to put your imagination to work on the building of a plan. This is starred, so pay close attention to this. It says, carry out the instructions best suited to your needs. Reduce your plan to writing if you have not already done so. The moment you complete this, you will have definitely given concrete form to the intangible desire. Okay, let's really understand this. Is my plan in writing? Do I have a definitive plan that I can follow persistently every single day? Is it in writing? And not only did I write it, am I following it? All right, so personally, I have the goal card written out. I've been doing that consistently, but do I have my plan written out? Right? I have the summary of instructions written out in auto suggestion, but do I have my plan already written out? He said, read the preceding sentence once more. Read it out loud very slowly. And as you do so, remember that the moment you reduce the statement of your desire and the plan for its realization to writing, you have actually taken the first of a series of steps which will enable you to convert the thought into its physical counterpart. Okay, so let's reread the sentence. Reduce your plan to writing. Pretty straightforward. The moment you do this, you will have definitely given. Hold up. you will have definitely given concrete form to the intangible desire. All right, so the moment you got a plan, this is the moment where, you know, it goes from energy to matter. Okay? And that is not a statement to take lightly. Okay, he says the earth on which you live, you yourself, and every other material thing are the result of evolutionary change, through which microscopic bits of matter have been organized and arranged in an orderly fashion. Moreover, and this statement is of stupendous importance, this earth, every one of the billions of individual cells of your body, and every atom of matter began as an intangible form of energy. Okay, so what are we doing? Right? At one point, think about it, we were just a cell. We were actually not even just a cell at one point. And now here we are looking at one another. You're watching me through the screen. Right now, I am a physical being. Right? I'm following the same guidelines that nature has laid out. Right? The same laws that has created me is what we're doing through Think and Grow Rich. We're operating in the same exact pattern where I'm taking something that's just a form of energy and I'm making it into the material thing. And you can do that right now by just writing out your idea in writing and writing out a plan. Right? How cool is that? Okay. He says, desire is thought impulse. Thought impulses are forms of energy. When you begin with the thought impulse, desire to accumulate money, you are drafting into your service the same stuff that nature used in creating this earth and every material form in the universe, including the body and brain in which the thought impulses function. As far as science has been able to determine, the entire universe consists of but two elements, right? We got matter and energy. Through the combination of energy and matter has been created everything, everything perceptible to man, from the largest stars which floats in the heavens down to and including man himself. You are now engaged in the task of trying to profit by nature's method. You are, sincerely and earnestly, we hope, trying to adapt yourself to nature's laws by endeavoring to convert desire into its physical or monetary equivalent. You can do it. It has been done before. You can build a fortune through the aid of laws which are immutable, but first, you must become familiar with these laws and learn to use them. Through repetition and by approaching the description of these principles from every conceivable angle, the author hopes to reveal to you the secret through which every great fortune has been accumulated. Strange and paradoxical as it may seem, the secret is not a secret. Nature herself advertises it in the earth on which we live, the stars, the planets suspended within our view, in the elements above and around us, in every blade of grass and every form of life within our vision. Okay, so right, we keep talking about I'm looking for the secret in this book. Right, he's saying the secret isn't even much of a secret. Nature advertises it on the earth that we live. Everything that we see has been at one point a single form of energy. Think about the Big Bang, right? This world, everything that you see outside your window right now wasn't here at one point. It was energy, right? Through the laws of nature, just how it's working. Now it's the way it is now. But if you really think about it, you'll agree with me that it started off as energy and now it's matter. It's in the physical world. He says nature advertises the secret in the terms of biology in the conversion of a tiny cell so small that it may be lost on the point of a pin into the human being now reading this line. The conversion of desire into its physical equivalent certainly is no more miraculous. Okay, now he says, do not become discouraged if you do not fully comprehend all that has been stated. Unless you have long been a student of the mind, it is not expected that you will assimilate all that is in this chapter upon first reading, but you will in time make good progress. The principles which follow will open the way for understanding of imagination. Assimilate that which you understand as you read this philosophy for the first time. Then, when you reread and study it, you will discover that something has happened to clarify it and give you a broader understanding of the whole. Above all, do not stop nor hesitate in your study of these principles until you have read the book at least 3 times, for then you will not want to stop. Okay, let me pause there. So, that was a lot of reading, but it really is. I guess so. If I were to sum it up, right, what what that 4 pages that we read were, we're basically talking. We talked about 2 parts of the imagination, and now we're talking about doing the same thing that nature does. We're converting energy into matter, and it's as simple as that. Yet also, that is the most mind-blowing idea if you really think about it, right? This whole book, right? I'm telling you, we are going through something where it's like whatever it is that you want, we're going to work at making it a real thing, right? How cool is that? That people, right? That I just help people get what they want simply because I can help them understand what Napoleon Hill understood. Now that's pretty cool stuff because you know that's the type of work I want to do. So yeah, that's it for this episode. I wanted to thank you all for watching. Right, this was imagination. We're going to continue on. I'm going to talk about organized planning tomorrow. Right, the rest of the imagination is just a few stories of how imagination was used, but I'm going to skip past them for right now and get through to the next chapter, which is organized planning. So I'll see you all tomorrow. With that being said, until we meet again in time and space, bye everybody for now. Peace.